kind of a disaster right now, so I tried to find the cleanest corner I could. So I'm gonna have a lot of cleaning to do after I finish this video. But for now, I'm gonna tell you guys about my photo organizing routine. So this video is for you if you kind of have a photo organization system already, but you're just kind of sporadically uploading your photos to where they're supposed to be. But if you have like thousands of photos scattered across your computer and different hard drives, printed photos scattered around your house, this video is not for you. I'm sorry. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my weekly photo organizing routine, usually weekly, sometimes bi-weekly if I don't take a ton of photos. Before I get into it, please click subscribe and ring the little bell so that you get notifications for my other videos. Okay, so my photo organizing routine depends on having multiple Google Photos accounts. I have three main ones that I use. I have my personal, which is connected to my main email account. Then I have my blog account, which is connected to my blog email. That's where I store photos that I take for blog posts and Instagram photos. And then the last one is a shared family account, where we have like one of those bigger Google Photos plans that you have to pay for monthly, but that account has a ton of photos in it, so we needed the extra storage. That's where I put photos that I want the whole family to see. But before I get to uploading everything to Google Photos, I first go on my phone and I purge all of the junk from my camera roll, and trust me, there is a lot of junk. So I get rid of things like screenshots. I usually don't need those. I get rid of most memes. A few memes are good enough to keep, but most of them I delete. And I also have a ton of duplicates because I have a very bad habit of posting an Instagram photo and then realizing that I want to adjust the editing slightly, and so then I delete it and re-upload it. So I end up with like 5 photos that are each indistinguishably slightly brighter or warmer than each other. So I just tap through and I get rid of all of those and click delete. I also go to my recently deleteds folder and just delete everything from there, because while those photos are in there, they're still taking up storage on your phone. Once I've done that, I check on my 1 second a day app. This is a project I've been doing this year. I'm not the best at keeping up with it. I've missed a lot of days, so if I missed any days but I have a video for those days, I will just upload it, crop it to 1 second. It's super easy with a 1 second a day video app. I'm gonna link to a blog post where I talked about this app. It's super useful. I think it's only like a couple dollars, and then I start uploading my photos. So now that I purged my camera roll and it's only photos that I want to keep, I go to my Google Photos app and I select all of the photos that I want to back up from my phone onto the cloud. I like doing this step first because while it's all uploading on my phone, it does take a while, especially if I have videos on there. Then I can do the part of my routine that is on the computer. So as I'm selecting these, I'm choosing the photos that I want to keep personally for myself. Now, just because a photo goes into my personal account doesn't mean it can't also go into my family account or my blog account, but for now I'm just focusing on my personal account. While that's going, I grab my computer, I open my computer, and then I take my SD cards and I put them in one by one and I check what's on there. Usually after I upload stuff onto my computer from my SD cards, I don't delete the originals on the SD cards because I know I'm going to do it at the end of the week, and it's also a good backup to have just in case. So usually my SD cards are pretty full. I will go through those and upload everything to my Google Photos account. So I'll split them between my personal, family, and blog accounts. The difference on the computer is that I can upload to multiple accounts at once. I don't believe you can do that on a phone, but on a computer, if you just open up multiple tabs and sign into different accounts, you can have that all going simultaneously. So some of the photos from the SD cards I will put into Google Photos, and then some of them I will put onto my computer. An example of this is if I did like a senior portrait shoot, I'm not gonna upload the 2,000 photos that I took all onto Google Photos because I don't want to keep all of those, but I do want to have those photos on my computer. So that's just an example of how some photos go to Google Photos and some go to my computer, but most of them go to Google Photos. That way it's not taking up space on my computer and it's all safe on the cloud. Once that's done, I just clear the SD cards, I take them out, and I store them somewhere safe. Next, oh my gosh, my water bottle just fell. Next, I grab my hard drive. This is actually my second hard drive because my first one, it was exactly the same as this. It crashed. I was able to salvage some of it by other means, but I learned my lesson. So basically the way that I use this new hard drive is projects that I am in progress with, are on my hard drive and on my computer. My computer has very limited space, so projects that I'm in progress with are stored in 2 places, which I think is safe enough for my purposes. But then once I am done with the project, I make sure that the updated version is on my hard drive and then I delete it from my computer. So that's the next step of my routine. I go on my computer and I make sure that everything on here is updated. So like if I wrote new blog posts, I'll just drop the folder of that blog post onto my hard drive, and then I will delete old things that I don't need anymore to save space. Next, I go back on my phone, which usually has finished uploading, but sometimes it hasn't, and that's just annoying. But so the next step is I go back onto Google Photos and I again go through my camera roll, but this time I'm signed into my blog account, so I'm only looking at what photos I want to go on that account. Usually there's not that many of them, so that process goes pretty quickly and I just sit and wait for it, and then I go through again and I upload all of my family photos. Again, that's usually not a ton, but I do have something I can do while that's going. I go back onto my computer and I look at my YouTube footage. I really kind of just started on YouTube. I don't have that many videos up yet, but it was really important to me to have all of my footage organized from the get-go, especially my B-roll footage. I wanted to have that really nicely labeled and organized so that if in the future I was making a video, I wouldn't have to go and reshoot that. I could just go into my archives and pull straight from that. So the system that I came up with, and please share if you have a better system, because I was honestly not sure if this was the best way to go about this, but I was like, I think this will work. So I go through footage I filmed that week and I label it either talking or B-roll, and then I title each piece of footage with a short but descriptive name, and then I go into the details of the video and I edit the description, and I just add any keywords that I think if I wanted to go back and find that video, I would be searching for. Okay, so by now, all of my Google Photos are usually uploaded, and if they're not, if it was a really busy week or if I fell behind my routine for a couple of weeks, I just go and do something else and I let my computer run. But usually it's done by then, so what I do is I go into my personal and my blog accounts and I start organizing stuff. First, I put things into albums. So on my personal account, I have albums like school, outings with friends. I have an album for each of the clubs that I'm in, pretty broad categories. If there was an event where I took a lot of photos, then I'll make an event folder where I just start the name with a date and then I label what the event was. On my blog account, it's a lot simpler. I just have a folder for, oh my gosh, my arm just fell. I just have a folder for fitness and then an album for food, and I think that's it, because everything else is just kind of generic photos. Then I go and tag all of the photos. So Google Photos doesn't actually have a tagging feature, but basically what you can do is just type things out in your description box, and it works the same way, because when you go in the search box and you put in a term, it'll like comb through all of those descriptions and search for that word. So again, I type out everything that I might use in the future to search for that specific photo or video, and it is kind of time consuming, but I really think it's worth it because I've definitely used that feature before where I needed to find something specific and I could just put in like oatmeal and it would find all of the pictures of oatmeal that I had. And also you just get faster at it, especially if you sit down and do it in one sitting. And also, for example, if you have like an event and you have 100 photos from that event, you can copy like your first 10 tags that describe all of those photos and then add the more detailed tags that vary between photos. And then it's the last step. I don't always do this because sometimes I do want to keep a small archive of photos on my phone, but the last step is the most satisfying, where I go through everything and delete it. At least on iPhone you can't select a delete all option, which is probably smart, but so you just have to like have finger agility and go through your entire camera roll like that. I don't know if you can see. And that's it. So the reason that I do a photo organizing routine in the first place is because I hate clutter, and digital clutter can really be just as much of a burden as physical clutter. In the same way that physical clutter in our lives keeps us from enjoying our space, digital clutter prevents us from enjoying the memories. And so I think the best way to stay organized with anything is to just tidy up regularly. My routine is right in here in my notebook. I strongly believe that every routine you do should be written out somewhere, because I think it makes it a lot easier to keep up with it and to follow it. It just takes a little bit of time, and that's a matter of scheduling that time into your day. So I hope that this video helped you. If it did, please give a like and subscribe to my channel so that you can see more of my videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!